Hey everybody, this is Kurt Sawyer from Sawyer's Maple Farm. Today I'm going to show you our remote pump house. It's almost a mile away from our sugar house and the first pump house. And what you see up here is the big blue pipe is 2 inches, and that's running vacuum from our first pump house all the way out here, almost a mile away. And the black one is 1.5 inches, and that is pumping sap back over that hill. And it was an interesting spot to lay out, so I'll kind of show you what we did and what we found that's worked and not worked so good. You will see a couple of sags in that 2 inch because we hastily put it all together this year and just haven't quite wire tied it all up yet. But it shouldn't be a problem because it's not carrying any liquid, it's strictly air. Just bringing vacuum to this house. So what we're doing here is I got 2 pumps, vacuum pumps, at the first hill on the first pump house, and that's bringing vacuum all the way out here. And right now with the 2 of them, we're pulling 26, almost 26.5 inches of vacuum. You'll see that in a minute. That loud noisy here in the background is our generator out here. We don't have power. We figured this was a less expensive alternative to running power all the way out here. I mean, a mile of power line is pricey. So this was our solution. So I'll show you our small little pump house here. Right now I am currently running the generator because we are pumping about 1,000 gallons worth of sap up over the hill. So there's our generator right there. And so look in here, we got 2 tanks linked together, bringing us vacuum in here. And as you can see, we've got little over 26 inches of vacuum. And this is one of those surprise sap days where we're getting a lot of sap in and pretty decent flow. Unfortunately, I think we've got a small spot that's a little out of level up in the woods, so we've got sap coming down our dry line as well. That's not ideal. You really don't want that to happen because it will cut off your vacuum above that point. So those trees might only be pulling 24 inches of vacuum, let's say. If it's 2 inches of vacuum loss. You really don't want that. You really want everything to be pulling the same as what you got down here. And we were the other day, so that's a more recent development. I gotta go hunt that problem down. So what we found out here was running the vacuum pump at this location was difficult. We did do that on a generator, and what we found was because it's so far away, we don't have any cameras set up out here yet. It's a future upgrade. That if the releaser for whatever reason had a malfunction, and it would flood the vacuum pump, and then we gotta drain it all out and dry it out and put expensive oil back in it again, and it was costing us a lot of time, a lot of money, and it was created a lot of downtime. So we figured, well, the easy solution is to put the pumps, both vacuum pumps, in the one pump house and just run a giant vacuum line out here. That's where it comes into the house, into the building here, and it hooks into this releaser. And this gave us the ability to run vacuum out here, get the 1,600 taps that we have on here right now. We do have more taps that we can add over the next year if we don't get to them this season. And so what that's going to do for us is it made it a little bit easier to lost my train of thought. But anyways, it made it easier to get vacuum here. It was a lot easier to manage because now we're only running the generator when we have to pump sap over the hill, and instead of having to run it all the time and running out here at 10 o'clock, midnight, something like that, with a can of gas to fill up the generator. It's a bit of a pain when you got woods trails that you got to run on, or you know, it's not like we can just drive the pickup truck out here. I mean, it's all snowmobile, as you can see. I got a snowmobile there. So this was the easier solution. And at some point here in the future, we will put a couple of cameras on here, one to watch the releaser and we know what the vacuum's at and what the releaser's doing for sap flow, and another one to watch the tank levels. Or maybe even just a sensor on the tank levels would be good too. And it's part of our future upgrade on a woods monitoring system. But that's for another video when we actually do that. But for now, this is what we got. This is what it's been working. It's been actually working really, really well. We tried this out last year on about 600 taps and kind of worked some of the bugs out and kind of figured, okay, this doesn't work. We got to do something a little different here. So this is what we came up with. As you can see there, I got another main line that's right there. We're almost ready to hook in. I got another one just up the hill, up that trail there that needs to be hooked in as well. I figure it's probably good for another 400 taps or more. Got another main line just up the hill again from the next one up that got about 50 something taps on it so far, and it's one we're kind of adding as we go this season. So we'll see what happens. Now if we get another good freeze up, maybe we can get out here in the morning and get some more drops on it. We just ran tubing this morning. So we'll see if we can get another 100 taps out of it. We still have more to add, but we'll get there as the season goes. This is an interesting hill to run. We got multiple main lines out here. I got 9 of them total. Most of them have got at least one Y, or some of them got 2. One of them, the one we're working on right now, actually has 4 Ys on it. And it was just a way to get the ravines. So what we did is we ran up the ravines and then branched off of it from there to kind of fill in the gaps. So we picked a ravine, ran a main line on it, and then picked the next ravine and ran a main line, and just so on and so forth, and added in Ys, just kind of fill in those gaps and make sure we got all those trees. And I think total out here we'll have about 2,000 trees on this, maybe close to 2,500, we'll see, but probably closer to 2,000. This brings this expansion here at the moment brought us up to just shy of 6,900 taps this season. We were at 5,800 last year. So it's a pretty good expansion. It's definitely why we need to make sure all our bugs are worked out of the system. The nice thing about this generator here is it does have an idle assist. So we can actually, if the sap pump is not pumping sap, it will actually ramp itself down, because nothing's drawing power off of it, so it'll actually ramp itself down and conserve on gas consumption, which is a very handy feature. Another note is this sap pump that's in here, it's actually a deep well pump, and it's a 1-horse deep well pump, and that's pumping up over the hill. I think that's pretty much this little video in a nutshell. Hope you guys enjoy it, and if you got any questions, drop us some comments. See you later. So in this, I already showed you in the last part of this video the pump house and taking vacuum over long distances to a remote pump house and some of the pros and cons. One of the cons that we've found out here, being so far away, is that with these woods out here in the vacuum, when you always end up a little bit lower than what you are at your pump house. So like today, we've got 26 inches at the main pump house where the vacuum pumps are, about 24 inches at the remote pump house, almost a mile away. And then now we are probably well over 2,500 feet, 3,000 feet or so from that remote pump house to the top of one of our main lines, and that's about 23 and a half inches. So you always lose a little bit of vacuum anyways. But what we've learned with this is that being so far away, any small leak has a more dramatic effect on your vacuum than what it would be if your vacuum pump were closer. So for instance, we had everything at about 26 inches of vacuum couple weeks ago. All of a sudden it dropped down to 9 inches. And what we found was, once we got out and walking the leaks in the woods, there were 2 places where a coyote had come through and chewed on the pipe, just put a couple little puncture holes in it, and it dropped it by that much vacuum. So once we fixed those, patched that up, fixed it, brought the vacuum right back up to that 26-inch mark again, and we're back in business. So that is the one thing that you do want to consider. So when you got leaks like this, like today, I'm all geared up in my leak walking kit. So we're gonna go walk leaks. This is gonna be a higher priority to walk leaks, simply because you're so far away from your actual vacuum pumps that you want to be right on top of these leaks and get them fixed as soon as possible. And I think it's pretty much about it. If you had anything else you want to learn about, drop us some questions or comments in the comment section here, and we'll see what we can do to answer those questions. That's all for now.